the diamond wedding party of my mother and father, and this is a copy of the announcement which appeared in the Daily Telegraph on Thursday, September the 14th, 1989, to mark the 60th anniversary of the house where my father lived as a boy, and it's the house in Redbridge, Ilford, from where he went to his wedding. So this, as you can see, is Redbridge House, Redbridge House, Ilford. We'll get another view of the house from a different angle. At Redbridge House from the riverside, there used to be a large veranda running between the lower windows and the first floor windows, with steps leading down into the garden, and then down here in the garden there were several levels of lawn, and if you look over to the left you can actually see beneath those trees what I believe is some of the original wall. You see the original wall there over to the left. One of the original old pear trees from the garden, which has stood the test of time, and you can see up here, not one of the original pears, obviously, this is a brand new pear. It's beautiful, just look at it. This is the road, Cambridge Road in Wanstead, where my mother lived as a young child, and this is quite close by to Leytonstone, and also not too far away from Ilford. This is the road, it's a nice wide street. The house she lived in was down here on the right-hand side. The house has subsequently been demolished. Is Christ Church, Wanstead, where the wedding took place, Dora Maud Hetherington and Robert Leslie Mapley, on Saturday the 14th of September 1929. I don't think much has changed so far as the church itself is concerned, although the surrounding neighbourhood has certainly become a lot more busy. We're going to go and get some better views of the church from another position. Here is a view of the church, and it would seem that there's a wedding here today. Nice big steeple. Top. And here's another view. And then here's the family that's come to help me with the videotaping today. What a house is Hillcrest Road, Loughton, where they lived immediately after they were married. They had a house built here in Hillcrest Road. And of course, from Wanstead and Ilford, this was really out in the country. Let's go and take a look at the house. And so this is number 18, Hillcrest Road, where they lived for over 50 years. In fact, I was born in this house, in that top bedroom. The outside of the menu card for the luncheon at the Roebuck, and there is a sketch of the Roebuck. And now let's look at the menu itself. Here's the menu, and we should look at the writing on the top left-hand side there. It says 1929 to 1989. On the 14th of September 1929, the wedding breakfast following the marriage of Dora Hetherington to Robert Mapley was held in this very room. The luncheon party today is to celebrate with family and friends this diamond wedding anniversary. And then you'll see there is a list of the wines that we shall be having. And then on the next page is the menu: fillet of plaice Mornay, breast of chicken Roebuck. Well, we've got the cat in the programme as well. And we have a dessert, and we finish up with coffee and mince and so on. And the party is on Sunday, September the 17th. We are outside the Roebuck Hotel. My time date thing says September 16. Actually, it is Sunday the 17th, and this is where we are having the luncheon reception to mark my mother and father's anniversary. The party is going to be here in the Roebuck Hotel, in the very same room, that room there, the very same room in which they had their wedding breakfast 60 years and 3 days ago. So we're going now to pick up the happy Dinner party, luncheon party, a happy couple, and also some pictures, look at this, of the wedding party assembled, I think, at Roebuck House. Not quite sure about that. There's the bride and groom, and there's another picture, and there's the picture.
He wants you to have a look. He wants you to look at the audience.
There is no doubt that we are getting to know each other. We've been going round the tables explaining to the people next to us who is who, and we got to this table over here, and who is that? Well, that's Sally. And who's that there? Well, that's Sally's husband. Well, what's his name? Well, Mary. Who is Sally's husband? So Mary says, well, who is Sally? So we've got it all worked out. Anyway, we are here today to celebrate. And this is no ordinary celebration. We're not just celebrating a silver wedding, or even 40 years, or even a 50th golden wedding anniversary. although one member of my intelligent family apparently accepted the invitation to the golden wedding party today. We are here to celebrate the 60th, the diamond wedding anniversary of my dear mother and father, Dora and Robert. And at this moment, I would like all of us to express to them our warmth, our affection, and our congratulations. It is 1929. It's a sunny Saturday in September. The bells at Christ Church, Wanstead, are pealing out to proclaim the joining together in holy matrimony of Dora Maud Hetherington and Robert Leslie Mapley. There were a lot of people there on that day, exactly 60 years and 3 days ago, the 14th of September, 1929. After the ceremony, the wedding party embarked upon silver grey Rolls Royces and Daimler limousines and motored, because that's what you did in 1929, motored out into the country. They motored out to a little hotel on the side of Epping Forest, and they assembled in the ballroom of that hotel, this wedding party, to receive family and guests. And for those of you that have not yet had time to read the wedding card, you will find that my mother and father were standing exactly here, and the rest of the reception party was standing down in this very room 60 years and 3 days ago. It's a wonderful occasion. There were a lot of happy people here. There were also several people here who were proud, and justifiably proud. And although I was not here on that occasion, I am sure that the proudest person present in this room was my maternal grandfather, Pops Hetherington. He was giving away in marriage the hand of his eldest daughter, and he was hosting the occasion. And he presumably was standing just about there. And although I wasn't here, I can see that standing right next to him was my paternal grandfather, Robert James Mapley, and his wife Florence. And they were proud as well, and they were here to witness the marriage of one of their 8 children. Who has 8 children there? We talked about this earlier and said, well, of course, in those days there were no washing machines. And Andrew pointed out that, well, actually there were, because there were people who did the washing and the ironing as well. Also here on that occasion was old Grandma Mapley. I'm not quite sure how old she was. She was my grandfather's mother. She died a few years later. And the historians in our family tell us that as she lay on the day of her death, she woke up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and she asked a very important question. And the question was, have I had my breakfast yet? Having been assured that she had had her breakfast, she went back to sleep, and shortly after, her spirit ascended to the next world. And so, you see, through the mortality of man and woman, there were a lot of people here on that day 60 years ago who are no longer with us. And I know we all, in our own ways, have very sincere, wonderful, and fond memories of the love and enjoyment we spent with all those people at that time. Moving on to see the group of us that is here today, I'd like to categorize us into 2 parts. The first group are those who were present at the wedding of my mother and father 60 years ago and are here with us today. My Auntie Betty was a bride.